In 2016, a research team drilling through Antarctic ice pulled up a core sample from 2 miles below the surface. When they examined it under microscope, they found something that shouldn't exist: pollen, fossilized remains of tropical plants in Antarctica. But the dating showed these plants lived 90 million years ago, when dinosaurs still walked the Earth. Antarctica wasn't always frozen, and what else might be buried under that ice changes everything we thought we knew about Earth's history. Antarctica is Earth's most extreme continent. Nearly twice the size of Australia, it contains 90% of the world's ice and 70% of its fresh water. Average temperatures reach negative 60 degrees Celsius. Winds exceed 200 miles per hour. It's the driest, windiest, coldest place on the planet. For most of human history, Antarctica was unknown. Ancient Greeks theorized a southern landmass must exist to balance the known northern continents, calling it Terra Australis Incognita, the unknown southern land. But it remained hypothetical until 1820, when Russian, British, and American expeditions finally sighted the frozen continent. Even after discovery, Antarctica remained largely unexplored. Its hostile environment deterred settlement and extensive research. Only in the mid-20th century did permanent research stations establish a continuous human presence. Scientists began studying the ice, the geology beneath it, and the continent's role in Earth's climate systems. What they found challenged fundamental assumptions about planetary history. Antarctica hasn't always been the frozen wasteland we see today. Geological evidence reveals a radically different past, one where lush forests covered the land and diverse ecosystems thrived where only ice exists now. The first major clue came from fossil discoveries in the Transantarctic Mountains during early 20th century expeditions. Robert Falcon Scott's ill-fated 1912 expedition collected rock samples containing plant fossils even as team members struggled to survive the return journey. Those samples, recovered with the frozen bodies months later, proved Antarctica once supported vegetation. Subsequent expeditions found more fossils: ferns, conifers, even flowering plants. The diversity suggested not just occasional plant life, but extensive forests. Then came animal fossils, amphibians, reptiles, eventually dinosaurs. In 1990, paleontologists discovered Cryolophosaurus ellioti, the first dinosaur found in Antarctica. This 20-foot-long predator lived about 190 million years ago during the early Jurassic period. Its discovery confirmed that Antarctica wasn't always isolated and frozen, but was once connected to other landmasses and supported complex terrestrial ecosystems. More dinosaur discoveries followed: herbivorous dinosaurs, marine reptiles, flying pterosaurs. Each finding painted a picture of Antarctica as a vibrant, living continent radically different from its current state. The explanation lies in plate, tectonics, and continental drift. About 200 million years ago, all Earth's continents were joined in a supercontinent called Pangaea. Antarctica was part of this landmass, positioned closer to the equator where climates were warmer. When Pangaea broke apart, continents slowly drifted to their current positions. Antarctica migrated southward, eventually settling over the South Pole. As it moved into polar regions, temperatures dropped. Ocean currents changed. Ice began forming about 34 million years ago, rapidly spreading until the entire continent was buried. This ice, in some places nearly 3 miles thick, has preserved Antarctica's geological and biological history like a time capsule. Beneath the ice lies a landscape frozen in time, holding secrets about Earth's past climate, ancient life, and the processes that shaped our planet. Recent technological advances allow researchers to probe beneath the ice without drilling, using radar and seismic techniques to map subglacial features. These surveys revealed unexpected complexity: mountain ranges, valleys, ancient river systems, lakes of liquid water trapped between ice and bedrock. Over 400 subglacial lakes exist beneath Antarctic ice. The largest, Lake Vostok, contains more water than Lake Ontario, despite being buried under 2.5 miles of ice. These lakes have been isolated for millions of years, creating unique environments where life might have evolved independently from the rest of Earth's biosphere. When scientists finally drilled into Lake Whillans in 2013, they found it teeming with microbial life. Thousands of species of bacteria and archaea thriving in total darkness, sustained by chemical energy from rocks rather than sunlight. This discovery demonstrated that life could persist in extreme isolation, with implications for understanding life's potential on other worlds. The most striking archaeological evidence from Antarctica comes from fossilized forests. In the transantarctic mountains, preserved tree stumps still stand where they grew millions of years ago, frozen in position, their wood turned to stone through mineralization. These aren't small shrubs. Some petrified trees measure over 3 feet in diameter, indicating substantial forests. Growth rings visible in the fossilized wood reveal seasonal variations, suggesting the climate had distinct warm and cold periods, despite Antarctica's polar location. During the Permian period, roughly 250 million years ago, Antarctica was part of the southern supercontinent Gondwana. Extensive forests of Glossopteris, a now extinct seed fern, covered much of the land. These forests were so widespread that Glossopteris fossils are found across all southern continents, providing key evidence for continental drift. The Glossopteris forests supported diverse animal life. Fossilized remains of Lystrosaurus, a pig-sized herbivorous reptile, have been found in Antarctica. This creature was one of the most successful animals of its time, surviving the Permian-Triassic extinction event that killed 96% of marine species and 70% of terrestrial vertebrates. Later, during the Triassic and Jurassic periods, different forest types emerged. Conifers became dominant. Ginkgo trees appeared. Ferns carpeted the forest floor. The climate remained relatively warm, supporting complex ecosystems despite Antarctica's southern position. Evidence suggests that even 90 million years ago, during the Cretaceous period when dinosaurs reached their peak diversity, Antarctica hosted temperate rainforests. Drill cores from the ocean floor near Antarctica contain pollen and spores from diverse plant species, indicating lush vegetation existed on the continent even as it drifted toward its current polar position. Computer climate models explain how forests persisted so far south. During warmer periods of Earth's history, atmospheric CO2 levels were much higher than today, creating stronger greenhouse warming. Ocean currents distributed heat more evenly across the globe. Polar regions experienced milder climates than they do now. Additionally, during Antarctic summer, the continent receives 24 hours of daylight for months. This continuous sunlight, combined with warm temperatures, could support photosynthesis and plant growth despite the extreme latitude. Winter darkness would be challenging, but some plants can survive extended dormancy. The transition from forested to frozen occurred relatively rapidly in geological terms. About 34 million years ago, during the Eocene-Oligocene transition, global temperatures dropped significantly. CO2 levels fell. Ocean currents reorganized, isolating Antarctica from warm water. Ice sheets formed and expanded. Within a few million years, forests disappeared. Animals went extinct or migrated to warmer continents. Antarctica transformed into the frozen desert it remains today. The speed of this transition demonstrates how rapidly climate can shift when tipping points are crossed. These ancient forests hold important lessons for understanding modern climate change. The geological record shows Earth's climate has varied dramatically over millions of years, swinging between greenhouse and icehouse states. Studying these transitions helps scientists predict how current warming might affect ice sheets, sea levels, and ecosystems. Ice cores drilled from Antarctic ice provide detailed climate records spanning 800,000 years. Tiny air bubbles trapped in the ice preserve ancient atmosphere samples, allowing precise measurement of past CO2 levels and temperatures. These records show clear correlations between greenhouse gases and global temperatures. The current rapid warming, driven by human CO2 emissions, is unprecedented in the ice core record's timescale. While Earth has been warmer in the deep past, the rate of current change is faster than most natural variations. This speed may not allow ecosystems and ice sheets time to adapt gradually, potentially triggering rapid, non-linear responses. Beneath Antarctica's ice lies a world we're only beginning to explore. Radar imaging reveals an unexpected landscape of mountains, valleys, and canyons hidden under ice that has remained frozen for millions of years. The Gamburtsev Mountains, discovered in 1958, exemplify this hidden geography. These peaks rise over 9,000 feet from the bedrock but are completely buried under the East Antarctic ice sheet. They're roughly the size of the European Alps, yet were completely unknown until modern surveys detected them. What makes the Gamburtsev Mountains particularly mysterious is their location. They sit in the interior of East Antarctica, far from any tectonic plate boundaries where mountain building typically occurs. Their formation mechanism remains debated, with theories ranging from ancient rifting to mantle plumes. Similarly puzzling is the Wilkes Land crater, a massive circular structure detected beneath the ice. Roughly 300 miles in diameter, it's one of the largest impact structures on Earth if confirmed as a crater. Some researchers propose it resulted from an asteroid impact 250 million years ago, possibly contributing to the Permian-Triassic mass extinction. However, the crater's existence and origin remain controversial. The evidence comes from gravity anomaly measurements that show a large mass concentration consistent with impact structures. But without drilling to examine the rocks directly, definitive confirmation is impossible. The feature might be volcanic or tectonic rather than impact-related. These subglacial features matter because they affect ice sheet behavior. Mountains and valleys channel ice flow. Bedrock depressions can accumulate meltwater, potentially lubricating ice movement. Understanding hidden topography is crucial for predicting how Antarctic ice will respond to warming. Recent surveys have also detected vast subglacial canyon systems. The largest, beneath the Denman Glacier, is deeper than the Grand Canyon and extends for hundreds of miles. These canyons were likely carved by rivers that flowed when Antarctica was ice-free, now serving as conduits for meltwater beneath the ice. Perhaps most intriguing are the subglacial lakes. Over 400 have been identified, ranging from small ponds to Lake Vostok's 160-mile length. These lakes exist because geothermal heat from Earth's interior and insulation from the thick ice above prevent water from freezing despite surface temperatures far below zero. Some lakes are ancient and stable, isolated for millions of years. Others are active and dynamic, filling and draining as water flows through subglacial networks. In 2007, scientists observed one lake drain completely, releasing billions of gallons of water downstream under the ice. The discovery of life in Lake Whillans transformed our understanding of Antarctic subglacial environments. Previous assumptions held that environments cut off from sunlight and isolated for millions of years would be sterile or support only minimal life. Instead, Lake Whillans contained thriving microbial communities. DNA analysis identified thousands of species, including bacteria that obtain energy by metabolizing minerals in rocks, archaea adapted to extreme conditions, and complex food webs based entirely on chemical energy rather than photosynthesis. This finding has profound implications for astrobiology. If life can thrive in Antarctic subglacial lakes, it might survive in similar environments on other worlds. Jupiter's moon Europa and Saturn's moon Enceladus both have subsurface oceans beneath thick ice shells. The Antarctic subglacial environment serves as the closest analog we have for these alien oceans. Unlike other continents, Antarctica has no evidence of ancient human habitation. Its extreme climate and isolation prevented human settlement before modern times. The earliest confirmed human presence dates to the early 19th century, when seal hunters and explorers first reached the continent. However, this hasn't stopped speculation about earlier visits or even permanent settlements. Some theories ranging from fringe to completely unfounded, propose that Antarctica was inhabited before it froze, or that ancient civilizations explored the continent. These ideas often cite the Piri Reis map, a 16th century Ottoman map that supposedly shows Antarctica's coastline before ice covered it. Proponents claim this proves ancient civilizations had knowledge of Antarctica's true geography. However, historians and cartographers who study the Piri Reis map explain that the southern landmass depicted is South America's coast, drawn with the orientation and proportions common to 16th century maps. The resemblance to Antarctica is coincidental and results from selective interpretation. Similarly, claims about pyramids in Antarctica stem from misidentified mountain peaks, whose triangular shapes happen to resemble pyramids. Geological analysis confirms these are natural formations, and no archaeological evidence supports artificial construction. The scientific consensus is clear. No credible evidence suggests pre-modern human presence in Antarctica. The continent's geological and climate history makes ancient habitation extremely unlikely. Before ice sheets formed 34 million years ago, no humans or human ancestors existed. After ice covered the continent, survival would have been impossible with prehistoric technology. What Antarctica does offer is insight into Earth's deep history through its preserved geological and biological records. The archaeological discoveries that matter are the fossils of ancient life, the ice core climate records, and the subglacial environments that reveal how life adapts to extreme conditions. Perhaps the most important archaeological discoveries in Antarctica aren't ancient fossils, but recent evidence of how quickly ice can change. The geological record preserved in Antarctic ice and rock provides crucial context for understanding current climate shifts. The Ross Ice Shelf, one of Antarctica's largest, has collapsed and reformed multiple times over the past several million years during warm periods. Sediment cores from beneath the ice show repeated cycles of ice advance and retreat, demonstrating that Antarctica's ice sheets are not permanent fixtures, but respond dynamically to climate changes. During the Pliocene epoch, about 3 million years ago, global temperatures were only 2 to 3 degrees Celsius warmer than today, similar to projected warming by 2100 under current emission trends. Geological evidence shows West Antarctic ice sheet largely collapsed during this period, raising global sea levels by several meters. This finding is sobering because it demonstrates that relatively modest warming can trigger major ice loss. The Pliocene serves as a potential analog for Earth's near future if greenhouse gas emissions continue unabated. More recently, studies of ice cores and sediments reveal that portions of Antarctic ice have disappeared and reformed even within the past few 100,000 years. During interglacial warm periods, sea levels rose higher than today, implying significant Antarctic ice loss. These discoveries challenge the perception of Antarctic ice as ancient and unchanging. While some ice in East Antarctica has persisted for millions of years, other regions are more dynamic than previously thought, responding to ocean and atmospheric warming on timescales of centuries to millennia. Current observations show accelerating change. Satellite measurements detect thinning ice shelves, glacier acceleration, and increasing meltwater production. The Thwaites Glacier, sometimes called the Doomsday Glacier, is particularly concerning because its collapse could trigger broader West Antarctic ice sheet destabilization. The archaeological and geological context from Antarctica's past reveals what's at stake. The continent's history shows ice sheets can collapse relatively rapidly once warming thresholds are crossed. Understanding these past transitions helps predict future responses to ongoing climate change. Antarctica's archaeological discoveries have fundamentally rewritten Earth's history. A continent we thought was eternally frozen turns out to have hosted lush forests, diverse dinosaurs, and complex ecosystems for most of its existence. The fossils found in Antarctic rock tell stories of ancient life thriving where only ice exists today. The subglacial lakes reveal ecosystems surviving in total darkness and isolation. The ice cores record climate variations spanning hundreds of thousands of years. These discoveries matter beyond pure scientific curiosity. They provide crucial context for understanding Earth's climate system, how ice sheets respond to warming, and what our planet's future might hold. The geological record shows Earth's climate is dynamic and can shift between radically different states. Antarctica has been both a lush, forested continent and a frozen desert. Understanding these transitions helps us comprehend the changes happening now as human activities alter atmospheric composition at unprecedented rates. Every ice core drilled, every fossil discovered, every subglacial lake explored adds to our knowledge of how Earth works and how life adapts to changing conditions. Antarctica serves as both a record of the past and a laboratory for studying processes that shape planetary climate. The continent that time forgot is teaching us crucial lessons about planetary change. What we learn from its ice and rock may prove essential for navigating the environmental challenges facing civilization. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What Antarctic discovery surprised you most? And if you want more revelations about Earth's hidden history, subscribe. Because our planet's past is far stranger than most imagine, and we're still uncovering its secrets.